Ladies and gentlemen, imagine a world where the loudest voices always prevail. It's easy to believe that to succeed you have to be the most vocal, the most outgoing, the one who thrives in a crowd. But what if the quiet ones hold the greatest power? What if the strength lies not in being the loudest, but in the ability to listen, observe, and connect more deeply? Being an introvert is often misunderstood. It's not about shyness or an inability to engage with others. It's a different rhythm, a different way of moving through the world. Introverts tend to process before they speak, to reflect before they act, to prioritize depth over breadth. And these traits, they're not limitations, they're strengths. Take a moment to consider the power of listening. In a world where everyone is competing to be heard, the person who truly listens stands out. When you listen deeply, you understand more. You pick up on subtleties others miss. You hear not just the words being spoken, but the emotions behind them. That's not just a skill, it's a superpower. Now think about observation. Introverts often excel at noticing things others overlook. They're the ones who see the unspoken dynamics in a room, who understand what's not being said. This awareness gives them the ability to navigate situations with a level of insight that others can't match. It allows them to connect with people on a level that feels authentic and genuine. And then there's the ability to focus. Introverts don't crave constant external stimulation. They're comfortable in solitude, which allows them to dive deep into their work, to think creatively, and to produce ideas and solutions that come from a place of clarity and intention. This kind of focus is rare, and it's powerful. But here's the thing, none of this works unless you embrace who you are. Too often, introverts feel pressure to act like extroverts, to push themselves into roles or situations that feel unnatural. When you try to be someone you're not, you dilute your strengths. But when you own your introversion, when you lean into your natural tendencies, that's when you unlock your full potential. The world doesn't need everyone to be the same. It doesn't need everyone to speak louder, to take up more space, to be constantly on. It needs balance. It needs people who think deeply, who listen intently, who connect authentically. It needs people who show us that there's power in quiet, that reflection is just as valuable as action, and that sometimes the best way to lead is not to shout, but to listen. Listening is a superpower. In a world where everyone competes to be heard, introverts excel by listening deeply, understanding not just words, but emotions and intentions. Observation unlocks insights. Introverts often notice the unspoken dynamics in a room, allowing them to navigate situations with empathy and precision. Focus breeds creativity. Comfortable in solitude, introverts channel their energy into deep work, producing thoughtful and innovative ideas. Authenticity amplifies strengths. By embracing their natural tendencies, introverts unlock their true potential rather than trying to conform to extroverted norms. The world needs balance. The harmony of extroverts' energy and introverts' depth creates a richer, more connected world where all strengths are valued. Would you like to expand on any of these? In every conversation, there's more being said than just the words. Beneath the surface of what people say lies the emotion, the intention, the context that truly gives their words meaning. And while so many focus on what they'll say next or how they'll respond, there's incredible value in simply listening. Not the kind of listening that waits for an opening to speak, but the kind that's patient, curious, and fully present. When you listen deeply, you don't just hear, you understand. You catch the hesitation in someone's voice, the excitement they try to mask, the fear they may not even recognize in themselves. It's in those moments that trust is built. People feel seen and heard in a way that's rare, and that connection is powerful. Listening isn't passive, it's an act of strength. It requires you to set aside your own agenda, your own desire to be heard, and give someone else your full attention. It creates space for clarity to emerge, for them and for you. When you listen, you become the person others turn to, not because you have all the answers, but because you make them feel like they matter. The truth is, everyone wants to be heard, but few take the time to listen. And that's where the magic happens. In a world filled with noise, the quiet act of listening becomes a superpower. It allows you to cut through the chaos, to see what others miss, and to form connections that go beyond the surface. There's a remarkable clarity that comes from watching the world closely. While others may rush to react, to speak, or to fill the silence, there's immense value in stepping back and simply observing. In every situation, there are patterns, emotions, and dynamics playing out beneath the surface. The unspoken interactions, the subtle shifts in energy, the way people respond to one another, these all carry meaning. When you take the time to observe, you begin to notice things others overlook. A fleeting expression can reveal discomfort before words are spoken. The way someone shifts in their seat can signal hesitation or confidence. The pauses, the gestures, the tone of voice, all of it offers clues. It's not just about noticing these details, it's about piecing them together to understand the bigger picture. This awareness allows you to navigate with intention. It helps you ask the right questions, anticipate needs, and respond in ways that resonate. Observation isn't about staying in the background. It's about taking in everything so you can act with clarity and precision. The insights gained from careful observation lead to decisions and actions that feel thoughtful, connected, and impactful. In a world that often rewards speed and loudness, the ability to pause, watch, and understand becomes a quiet but powerful strength. It's not about doing more, it's about seeing more. And that perspective can change everything. There's a unique kind of magic that happens when you give your full attention to something. In a world full of distractions, where notifications, conversations, and demands constantly pull at you, the ability to focus becomes rare and incredibly valuable. Focus creates the space for ideas to emerge, for connections to form, for problems to be solved in ways that go beyond the obvious. And when you focus, you dive deeper. Instead of skimming the surface, you explore the layers beneath. You start to see patterns that others miss, uncover opportunities that aren't immediately visible, and find innovative solutions that feel like they came from nowhere. But they didn't. They came from the quiet, from the intentional effort to think deeply without interruption. Creativity isn't something you force, it's something you allow. And focus is what gives it room to grow. It's not about rushing to produce an answer. It's about sitting with a question long enough for something meaningful to emerge. It's about being patient with the process, trusting that the ideas will come if you're willing to give them the time and attention they deserve. Focus also brings clarity. It strips away the noise, the unnecessary, the distractions that clutter your mind. With that clarity, your creativity sharpens. You can approach your work, your ideas, and your challenges with a sense of purpose and direction that's impossible when your attention is scattered. It's in that stillness, that deep concentration, where some of the best ideas are born. There's something undeniably powerful about being yourself. When you embrace who you are, your natural tendencies, your unique perspectives, your way of seeing the world, you unlock a strength that no one else can replicate. Authenticity isn't about trying to fit a mold or meet expectations. It's about owning the things that make you different and leaning into them. When you show up authentically, you operate from a place of confidence and clarity. You're not wasting energy trying to be someone you're not, and that energy can be directed toward what truly matters. People are drawn to that kind of honesty. They trust it because it's real, and in a world where so many feel the need to put on a front, authenticity becomes a rare and valuable quality. It's easy to think that your differences are weaknesses, that you need to adapt to what others expect in order to succeed. But those differences are what set you apart. They're where your strengths live. By embracing them, you bring something to the table that no one else can. It's not about being louder or more outgoing or more like someone else. It's about being the best version of yourself and letting that speak for itself. Authenticity also creates deeper connections. When you're genuine, people can sense it. They feel more comfortable being themselves around you, and that opens the door to trust, collaboration, and understanding. The most meaningful relationships, whether personal or professional, are built on that kind of foundation. When you stop trying to be what the world says you should be and start embracing who you truly are, you amplify your strengths in ways that are impactful and undeniable. There's a kind of freedom in that, a freedom that allows you to thrive. The world thrives on diversity, not just in culture or perspective, but in energy, approach, and thought. There's a natural harmony that comes from different types of people contributing their unique strengths. Where one person brings boldness, another brings careful reflection. Where one excels in energizing a group, another shines in creating meaningful one-on-one connections. Neither is better or worse. Both are necessary. When balance exists, the loud and the quiet complement one another. The big ideas gain depth from thoughtful analysis, and fast action is tempered by careful planning. It's not about one way being right. It's about recognizing that every strength has its place, and those strengths work best when they're paired with others. Balance creates room for innovation. It allows for risks to be taken, but also ensures that those risks are considered. It means there's space for brainstorming and creativity, but also time for focus and execution. Each element feeds the other, making the whole stronger and more effective. Without balance, things tip too far in one direction. A group of only extroverts may charge ahead but miss important details. A team of only introverts might generate brilliant ideas but hesitate to act on them. It's in the blending of these energies that real progress happens. The world needs people who can dream big and people who can turn those dreams into reality. It needs those who lead from the front and those who guide quietly from behind the scenes. The balance between these forces is what creates harmony, ensuring that everyone has a role to play and every contribution is valued. The true power of being an introvert lies in embracing what makes you unique. In a world that often celebrates volume and speed, your ability to listen deeply, observe thoughtfully, focus intentionally, and act authentically brings balance and depth. By leaning into these strengths, you don't just navigate the world differently, you enrich it. The quiet voices, the reflective thinkers, the deep connectors, they remind us that success isn't about being the loudest or the fastest. It's about being true to yourself and using your unique strengths to make a meaningful impact. In that balance, the world finds its greatest harmony.